Welcome back for our supplement to part 1 of our Civ Pro review. Don't worry, we will start out easy. 3, 2, 1, go. Who has the burden of proving federal jurisdiction exists after removal? The defendant. What is the amount in controversy threshold for diversity cases in federal court? Greater than $75,000. What is subject matter jurisdiction? The court's authority to hear a particular type of case. Can a plaintiff remove a case to federal court? No, only a defendant may remove. What does venue refer to? The proper geographic district where a lawsuit should be filed. Let's make this a little bit harder. What 2 elements must be met for diversity jurisdiction? Complete diversity of citizenship between all plaintiffs and all defendants, and an amount in controversy exceeding $75,000. What is the purpose of the minimum contacts test in personal jurisdiction? It ensures the defendant has sufficient connection with the forum state, making jurisdiction fair under the Due Process Clause. What distinguishes general jurisdiction from specific jurisdiction? General jurisdiction applies when a defendant is at home in the forum state. Specific jurisdiction applies when the lawsuit arises from the defendant's forum-related activities. What procedural step allows a federal court to decline jurisdiction and send a case back to state court? A motion to remand, typically filed when removal was improper. What is the nerve center test used to determine? A corporation's principal place of business for diversity jurisdiction, usually the location of corporate headquarters where decisions are made. Under what conditions can a case be removed from state to federal court, and who is permitted to initiate the removal? A case may be removed only if it could have originally been filed in federal court, federal question or diversity jurisdiction. Only the defendants may initiate removal. What is the well-pleaded complaint rule, and why does it matter for federal question jurisdiction? It requires that the federal issue appear on the face of the plaintiff's complaint as part of their claim. A federal defense is not enough to trigger federal question jurisdiction. How is a corporation's citizenship determined for diversity jurisdiction purposes? A corporation is a citizen of both the state where it is incorporated and the state of its principal place of business, nerve center. Describe the standard for discoverability under the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Information is discoverable if it is relevant to any party's claim or defense and proportional to the needs of the case. It need not be admissible if it may lead to admissible evidence. Information is discoverable if it is relevant to any party's claim or defense and proportional to the needs of the case. It need not be admissible if it may lead to admissible evidence. Identify 2 types of orders that are immediately appealable and explain the exception they fall under. Orders granting or denying injunctions and class certification are immediately appealable under exceptions to the final judgment rule, e.g., collateral order doctrine. Explain the relation back doctrine for amended pleadings. An amended pleading relates back to the date of the original pleading if it arises out of the same conduct, transaction, or occurrence, allowing it to bypass the statute of limitations. How do res judicata and collateral estoppel differ in both scope and application? Res judicata bars entire claims between the same parties that were or could have been litigated. Collateral estoppel bars re-litigation of specific issues actually decided in a prior case. What is the standard for granting a motion for judgment as a matter of law, JMOL? JMOL is granted when no reasonable jury could find for the opposing party based on the evidence presented during trial. In a diversity case, how is the domicile of an individual determined? Domicile is determined by physical presence in a state plus the intent to remain there indefinitely. What limits the ability of a federal court to hear claims under supplemental jurisdiction? Claims must arise from the same case or controversy under Article 3, and in diversity cases, Section 1367(b) limits supplemental jurisdiction over certain claims by plaintiffs. A plaintiff sues a defendant in state court. The defendant removes the case to federal court based on diversity jurisdiction. After removal, the plaintiff moves to add a non-diverse party. What should the court do? A. Allow the joinder since removal was proper. B. Permit joinder and remand to state court. C. Deny joinder under Rule 20D, automatically dismiss the case. Correct answer. B. Permit joinder and remand to state court. Under Section 1447(e), courts may allow joinder of a non-diverse party and remand the sass. A plaintiff files a federal claim and a state claim arising from the same set of facts. Can the federal court hear the state claim? A. Yes, under supplemental jurisdiction. B. No, unless diversity exists. C. Only if the defendant consents. D. Only if the state law is procedural. A. Yes, under supplemental jurisdiction. Supplemental jurisdiction allows a federal court to hear additional claims that form part of the same case or controversy. Which of the following is not a basis for personal jurisdiction over a defendant? A. Consent. B. Physical presence. C. Internet advertisement alone. D. Domicile. Correct answer. C. Internet advertisement alone. Mere advertising, without more, is typically insufficient for personal jurisdiction. A plaintiff files a federal claim and a state claim arising from the same set of facts. Can the federal court hear the state claim? A. Yes, under supplemental jurisdiction. B. No, unless diversity exists. C. Only if the defendant consents. D. Only if the state law is procedural. C. There is complete diversity and the amount in controversy exceeds $75,000. Which of the following motions must be made before filing an answer or included in the answer to avoid waiver? A. Motion for summary judgment. B. Motion for judgment as a matter of law. C. Motion to dismiss for lack of personal jurisdiction. D. Motion to compel discovery. Correct answer. C. Motion to dismiss for lack of personal jurisdiction. Certain Rule 12(b) defenses, like lack of PJ, are waived if not raised early.